All right, welcome back to another video about Diamond Dynasty Baseball. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and creator of Diamond Dynasty. What is Diamond Dynasty? It is a career mode tabletop baseball game. So, sort of boiled down a baseball game into some basic elements, and it makes the entire season playable in about an hour to an hour and a half. You can play it in chunks, so if you only have 30-minute chunks, you can pretty much play it in those 30-minute chunks and move your way through this season. So the three phases are the regular season and the postseason, so you actually play out games. And then the next part is the off season, or well, I guess you do the financials next, and then you kind of figure out where the team stands in terms of its finances, and then you move into the off season, which is what I'm going to show you here. So if you wanted to see those other two phases, you can check out some of the previous videos that I've done. If you look in the Diamond Dynasty playlist, you'll be able to see those latest two videos where I go through a total fresh new season. I haven't played this game for a while, so I just wanted to make sure that I could pick up the game guide, begin to work my way through with all the components, and that everything just works. Because once that is there, the game is pretty close. Then I just need to get it into some sort of state. And I'm hoping into maybe a booklet form with some printables that you can use, because you're going to want to be able to reprint the team sheets and stuff like that. So, but I want to put the game guide. I want to put some of the charts and some of the other things that you don't necessarily need to print off, but you can work your way through the season. I want to put that into sort of a spiral bound book like this. All right, so why am I showing you this? Because I want to take you through. I've started the off season, and I want to take you through just kind of how I do it. These are our original team sheets here, so you can see we have 4 teams. There's Crestline, Rockview, Meadowview, and Mariners Bay. And so on this side, we have everything for our roster. We have our starting positions, 1 through 9. And then we have our minor leagues here. So you can have up to 5 minor league players. And then on the other side, we have all of our financials. So this is where you figure out the financial section, you count up wins, and you count up stadium revenue and stuff like that. So this all has been done in the previous 2 videos, like I told you. And yeah, we got to sort of think about how to get from here to our new next year, second year team sheets. So I've just put each team on just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, or 8 by 10, whatever this is. 8.5 by 11. So an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. What I did was, on the old team sheets, you can see here, I took any player that's a 5. That's the oldest player that you can have. So when you sort of roll over to the next season, a 5 has to retire. So I sort of marked them, all the 5s, with an R, just to let me know who's retiring. That means these 3 guys need to be replaced. And if the player is age 4, like these 2, then he has to roll to see if he retires or not. If it's a 1 or a 2, he retires. If it's 3, 4, 5, or 6, then he'll continue forward. So this little mark here means he's going to continue forward, and this guy had to retire after just 4 seasons. So it throws a little bit of variability in there. Kind of is that, does he have one less run in him kind of thing. And so Zach Maddox did, and so he stayed. So he's a player that you have to do player development for, account for, and see if he's going to figure into your plans or not. You can see that he's been cut. So he did not figure into the plans, even though he sort of went over into another year. So these guys retired. They have at least 4 players that they're going to need to replace. And then I sort of go through and I kind of mark guys that I think I'm going to cut. But I won't cut them for sure until after the development phase. So I take all those players that did not retire, and then I put them here on the sheet. So you can see that there's some empty spaces here. You can see there's quite a few empty spots here. These guys who I marked through, I did player development for, and then I decided I'm going to cut them. So Maddox that I showed you here, he didn't get any better. We're only paying him $1. We're paying him for his skill level, but his skill just wasn't enough. Crestline wound up 3-3. Some of that's because the pitching was not good. And that's a theme here. There weren't any great pitchers. I think the best was a 2. And that was Foster. Foster was a 2, and he regressed going into his final season. So not great pitching, and we'll have to see if that changes. With some of these teams are going to have rookie pitchers, so we'll see if they wind up with a good one, or if they wind up kind of in the same spot. But at least a rookie pitcher who's going to give you a 1 is going to have an opportunity to get better in year number 2, where this guy here, he has no opportunity to get better. He didn't get better, and so there's no need really. It's better to put a draft pick in there than it is to waste your time and resources on him. So, let's see. We need to fill some spots here. So the first thing I do is I do the player development, and that player development comes through some charts that we use. Let's see if I can find those very quickly. So here's a chart that we use for our off-season progression. So you can see we do our retirements first, then we do player development, then we cut players, send them into the free agent pool. We draft or call up rookies, and then we do the free agency period. So we have, these are our different player stages, and you have rookies all the way through to their final year, that's age 5. When they're a 4, and aging, you have to roll for retirement. This is where you do that. 1 or 2, he retires immediately. 3 to 6, he'll return for 1 more year. And then we start the player development phase here. So we have Harper, and Jordan Harper is the catcher for Crestline. His skill was a 4, his age was a 2, and he's on a $5, like he'll be on the second year of a $5 contract. So the way we count the contracts is you get $1 for every skill point. And then if you're a 4, you get 1 star. If you are a 5, you'll get 2 stars. And then you get paid for those stars. So 4 plus the 1 star is a $5 contract. 5 plus 2 stars is a $7 contract. If he were an 8 plus the 2 stars, he would have started out with a $10 contract. But you can only start out with a 5 in the first season. So after things get rocking after the first season, then the financials change quite a bit, and there's a little bit more finagling that you have to do. There's some limitations. You can put a salary cap if you want to of like $25 for a team, and that means that you've got to really control all of your expenses, or if you want to do $30, that's probably more realistic over time. Or you can use the owners. I don't have that sheet in front of me, but there's a list of owners, so you can roll to see an owner for each team, and then those owners will have some set limits and guidelines for budgets. All right, so we're going to roll for Harper. We will, because he was a second-year player in his prime, there's no modifier to the player development roll, which is this roll here. So you roll 1d6, and whatever it is, because he has no modifier, whatever it is, that's what he's going to get. So he was a 4. He actually rolled a 5, and he has a growth spurt, so he gets a +2 to his skill, and he goes up to a 4. His age goes up 1 year to a 3. He remains on the same contract because he's in year 2 of a 2-year contract. And now instead of a 1-star player, he becomes a 2-star player. So now you're getting a really good deal. You're getting a 6-skill player for just $5. Normally that would cost you $8 on the open market, or if he were just getting a new contract. In fact, the next season, if he stays at 6, he will go up to an $8 contract. It'll be 6 for each skill level, skill point, and then you have 2 for the stars. So 6 plus 2 is 8. And then you just do that for each individual player. Johnson actually regressed. Talbot didn't change at all. Ramirez regressed, but you can't go below 1, so he's just at 1, but he's a year older. Actually, he regressed, didn't he? So he went down to a 1. He was on a $2 contract, so now you're getting a 1 skill player for $2. Not a feasible situation, especially if you have a guy down here who, when he went through player development, he was a level 2, skill level 2. He gained 3, so he had a breakout with the +3, and he's now a 5, which makes him a 2-star player. So a lot of player development happened here. In fact, their entire minor league system just sprouted and went crazy. So they're calling up 4 players into their major league system. So they cut Ramirez, and then they filled in a lot of these gaps here. They cut Maddox because Maddox didn't progress. He just stayed the same. It's tough for those guys who are aging because it's a -2 to the development roll. So even if you roll a 6, that becomes a 4, and the best you can do is like a slight progression. So that's kind of how player development works. It behooves you to put young players in, not for that season, but for ongoing seasons, because they're going to continue to progress. Now, after this season here, you got a lot of guys on the second year of a 2-year contract. So if they don't get up to the majors, like let's say Hayes, he stays at a 1, and now he's going to be on year 3. He's going to get cut. So if he doesn't progress enough to bring him up to the majors, then he's going to get cut. And that's just kind of how it is. And he won't be replaced by anybody. He doesn't go into the free agent pool. He just kind of goes away into the ether, and then you'll just have to replace that spot. So use your draft picks or lose them. That's kind of the thing. And maybe in the future, well, there's definitely some off-season. There's this one here, Training Boom. So 1 player gains +1 skill. That could be for anybody, but you could definitely put that in for a rookie. There's also some upgrades, team upgrades, both permanent and season upgrades, where it'll affect your rookies and people who are gaining skill. So, yeah. So that is the off-season program. So I did that for every team. And then you can see here, I began to move and just kind of map out who's going to go where, which players are going to get slotted in. This guy was pretty good. So 3, veteran player. You're not getting a great deal, though. He's a 3 skill player, but a $5 contract. So not a great player. So I cut him, moved up this second baseman who had grown quite a bit. So using your minor leagues effectively. And the other thing I wanted to point out is you see a couple of guys here. I see 1, 2, 3. This guy here. I put in a little clause, a little rule, a little something. And I just hand wrote it in there, but I'll show you. So you can change the position of any player, but you have to roll to see if the player's skill progresses, regresses, or stays the same. So this guy here, I believe he was a third baseman or a shortstop, but he's been blocked by these 2 amazing 2-star players. They're brothers, Chris and something. I don't remember. It starts with an M. I want to say Morgan. Mason. No. Is it Mason? The Freeman brothers, Chris and Mason. Mason is the younger brother. He's in year 2. Chris is the older brother. He is year 4. And both superstar players, both, 2-star players. So this guy was being blocked, and he had progressed to this is actually a 5. He had actually progressed to a 5 and had kind of a breakout year in the minors. He was a 2-star player. And so we needed to find a way to get him into the lineup. We had some options here. And so I put a way that you can change infielders to infield positions, outfielders to different outfield positions in order to kind of meet what you need for your team. So I changed Thompson to a first baseman because that's what we had open. And when you roll, if you roll a 1, the effect on his skill is a -2. If you roll a 2, it's -1. 3 or 4, there's no change. 5, there's a +1. 6, there is a +2 to his skill. So sometimes it happens that players gain skill, they find a better position for themselves. Sometimes they find a worse position for themselves, but it's a position that meets the team's needs. In this case, he was a -1. He goes down to a 4, which is still pretty good because that makes him a 1-star guy. And you get credit for the star, and you get him for just $2, at least for the first year. After that, if he progresses, then you'll have to pay him. If he regresses, you won't have to pay him. He'll still get a bump in salary probably, but not quite as much. So he fits the bill. He'll go into the first baseman as a first baseman. So I did that a couple of times. Foster here was converted to a third baseman. He used to be a second baseman, but he was blocked by Blanchard, who also was a pretty good prospect. So we turned him into a third baseman, and he goes up. Hayes was he was a center field prospect. So was Clark, and so is Winters. Winters is going to become our center fielder. Clark, we switched him to left field because we had all outfield positions that we needed to fill. He had gone up to a 4, so when I rolled off of this chart for him, there was no change. So he remained a 4 skill prospect, and he goes up into left field as a 4 skill prospect for just $1. So terrific opportunity for Crestline. They're going to have a lot of players and a smaller payroll because of all these rookies who progressed, and they're going to give them good production at the major league level. And then Hayes, we switched to a right fielder trying to fill this right field spot. He regressed. You can't go below 1, so he goes from a 1 to a 1. He does go up another level in his year, and then he is just going to cost them $1, but he did not progress. They still are kind of in need of a right fielder. There's no guarantee you're going to get someone in free agency who's a good right fielder. In fact, when we look at our free agents, you can see there's one guy here that's been created. He's a 2-skill outfielder, but he's old. And then you got a rookie here who fills in. So no great options in right field. And so we're going to keep him around for 1 more year. He'll get 1 more year to develop. And if he doesn't do anything, he's just going to get cut and go into the ether. If he progresses, then he may be a good player to fill in for right field. Because if he goes up and he rolls like a 6, he can still get a breakout where he goes up to a 4. So you never know. Some of these older minor leaguers, you could also just cut him right now, and then you could fill out a whole new draft position. So there's a little bit of kind of decision making that you need to do. These 2 guys here, they did not progress their first year in the minors. You could have cut them and just start fresh, because when you have that player with the first year, you get the extra +1 bump. So if you want to take that as your tact, if a player doesn't progress or if they're just a 1, I'm just going to cut them, draft all new prospects, and then just have a whole new set of prospects here. Totally up to you, and that's a decision that you can make because with these 2 second-year players, they don't get any sort of addition to their player development role. So it may be that that's just the better strategy, is to just cut them loose if they don't make any progress in the minors. And so I did all this with every team. You can see I've just sort of done player development and put them in, slotted them in where I thought they should go, changed any positions where I thought was necessary. And what we come up with is the final sheet. So I printed off another group of sheets here, just fresh sheets for everybody. I carried over their postseason gains from their financial, or in the case of Meadowview, their loss. So that just kind of gets everything set up for the financials for the second year. I've got all my players in here who I've decided on that working sheet are going to make it over. So some of these players, like Jordan Harper, he progressed. A little regression here at first base, same here. And then we have our Zach Johnson. Johnson came up as a third base prospect. He fills in nicely, replaces the one skill player, Ramirez, and now he's a 5 and he's a 2-star. So they go from having, you can see how their roster has progressed. They had 3 stars. That accounts for 4 stars total. 2, 4, 6 stars now, and 1, 2, 3, 4 players. So they have more stars, and they have more stars. So a greater number of players, a greater number of actual stars, and all while keeping the whole bottom half of the order there at a pretty reasonable level. They're getting a really good deal here. These guys are all in year 2, and so the next year they're going to have to pay or decide to cut these guys. Are they going to let them? Are they going to pay them, or are they going to let them go and do a little? Because they may have rookies again who progress, and it's worth just cutting them loose because they need to save salary or whatever happens for this particular season. If they have a great season and they have like $30 left over, maybe they want to keep those guys and just pay them and let them continue to progress because they have a little extra cash to work with. So we have one guy, this guy, Blaine Hayes, who he converted to right field, but he didn't do anything. So next phase, that's the setup. The next phase is going to be rolling for draft picks. Now, over here on my computer, you can't see it, but I have the player generator application set up. And what it does is you can generate just a regular player. So when you're generating your original players for the teams, the top level guys in the majors, there's one for that. And then you can also generate a rookie. The rookies can only go up to skill level of 3, and they are going to be H1. So it's a little bit more specialized. And so we have to use that rookie one to generate our rookies. So next is the draft, or the creating rookies. And we need to fill in these 4 spots, and we need to fill in these 2. So every team, you fill in 2 rookies first. So if you have up to 2 spots, which these guys have 2 empty spots, so 2 rookies are going to go here. And then they have 4 spots, so they're going to have to decide where they want to put a rookie in. And what you have in the minor leagues might help you to make that decision. These guys have 3 spots, so 2 of the 3 are going to be filled by rookies. And these guys have 1, 2 spots, so they're going to have 2 rookies on their major league team. You can only draft 2 guys directly into the major leagues. So, sorry, I'm just making sure that the paper is on screen. Okay. So let's go ahead and fill these spots in. Then we have a right fielder and a starting pitcher, and the first guy is the right fielder. This is Felipe Carvajal. He is skill level 1. So that means he's $1, and he's going to be in the first year of a contract. And then Rolando Verduzco. He is skill level 2. and he will cost $2 in the first year of his contract. So let's go ahead and fill out our minor leaguers as well. David Lugo. And you can either choose to make the positions here randomized, or you can go ahead and assign a position. Like I'm going to draft a so-and-so. I'm just going to use this. So he's a first baseman. 1 through 9 positions on the die. If it's 10, you roll again. So Lugo is a 1. Next up, we're going to have a shortstop. And he is Norman Williamson. He's skill 2. Next, we have a left fielder. Rufino Mascarenas. Mascarenas. He's a 2. So pretty good draft picks here. And last, another shortstop. That is Curtis Black. He is a 1. And now we have our team filled out. So we filled out all of our roster spots. We need to go ahead and actually I happen to have a calculator here. So let's see. We need to fill out everything here. So plus 2, 4, 4, 1, 2. So their skill total is 30. And their age, average age, I like to do, you don't have to do this, but (21 divided by 9). Their average age 2.3. So a very young team. Just $21. And 2, 4, 5, 6 stars. So they are fully loaded, a very young team, very talented team, and only paying $21 for $30 or $30 worth of skill. And then these guys will figure in, and then they're kind of half loaded in the minor leagues. So Crestline is in a good place. And they have 2 5-star players. Come on now. All right. We need to decide who's going to do what. So we have a first baseman here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fill that in with a veteran. So I want to go ahead and do the right field and the starting pitcher spots with a rookie. So Rene Palomo. He is skill level 1. First year of his contract. And Zachary Hansen, also skill level 1. It's going to be a little bit of a rough go with a 1 skill pitcher. So maybe they'll catch lightning in a bottle a little bit or something like that. So you can only fill in 2 rookies here. These 2 are going to have to go to what do you call it? Free agents. So we need 3 rookies here. So let's figure out what it is. Shortstop again. Oh boy, Victor De La Fuente. He is on the rise. He is in Fuente. Yeah, he's a 3-star or a 3-skill player. He's going to have a 3 salary, and he'll be in year 1 of his contract. So this is going to be at the end of the year when we have future stars. Victor De La Fuente will be a future star at shortstop. We got a catcher. That's good for them because they have a catcher spot open. Maximino Laureano. He's a 1. And last position, roll again, is a center fielder. So they got a pretty good center fielder here. Catcher and shortstop. Shortstop is Malik Fields. Maybe he'll get better, maybe he won't. Fernando Zamora. Fernando Zamora. He is a 2-skill, sorry. So they got a couple pretty good prospects at shortstop and center field, and then they'll fill in their free agents here. So that is Rockview. Meadowview, they've got 3 spots open. They have a starting pitcher here, so I think we're going to maybe just go with the starting pitcher in free agency. They have a second baseman, Clark Hayes, Elijah Brooks. Not that great. So we're going to go with a catcher in free agency or in the draft, Brandon Mitchell. And again, there's a lot of choices here, but still quite a bit of sort of randomness that comes with the game. He'll be in his first year. And then Maxwell Rose. So you take a little bit of a chance. You could wind up with a future star with a 3-skill player that you're only paying. Well, you're paying him like that, but you're not paying. You're paying a fair price for a guy who could really get up, because if he's a 3 and then he gets a 6 and gets a +3 after his first year, now you're paying a 6-skill player $3 because he'll be in the second year of a contract. So got to kind of think about that. The first year might be a wash, or you might be like, well, no, he's okay. You're going to get fair value the first year, but if those young players progress, then you're going to be getting a better value, at least in year 2. So same thing, $1 and in the first year of his contract. All right, let's fill in these bottom ones here. We get a 4, so another second baseman. And again, if you want to change these guys, you can at some point. Scott Simmons, he's a 2. Jose Manuel Barreto, he is going to be a center fielder. And Zach Edwards is a right fielder. Two-skill player. All right. So Meadowview has 1 spot they need to fill with free agent. You don't have to fill in free agents if you don't want to. You can build through the draft. You can build through free agency and just cut all your players and start all over, and however you want to do it. But your free agents are not going to be quite as good. Most teams are not going to release their stars, but you can get some serviceable players there. Okay, these guys have 2 spots open, and so Mariners Bay, who is built largely through the draft, is going to fill those spots. So Kelly Jennings. He's a 2. And Jake Brewer. So another 1-star pitcher. This Brewer with a 1. And he'll be in his first year. So let's fill in our last 2 rookies here. One will have a pitcher, Flavio Contreras. And Aiden Davidson. He'll be a second baseman. He is a 1-skill player as well. Okay, so now our teams are fully built out. So everyone has all the players that they need from the draft so far. And let's go on to the free agency. So we have our free agents here. Off to the side, we have our free agents list here. So every position has a couple of players. There are a few pitchers to choose from. And the teams, let's get our... Let's see. We really need this sheet here. This will help us along. These things are old news. These something else. Okay. This is why I want to keep everything in a book, because there's going to be some loose pages. So we have the financials here, and this is going to tell us gains and losses, but we have our standings here. We're going to use our standings. So in the free agency period, you're going to go from the worst team. So sort of like you do with the draft, you're going to do the worst team first and then go up to the best team. The worst team is going to fill all their spots first. Then the second worst team fills all their spots, and so on until you get to the best team. You could also do a serpentine style draft kind of situation where each team gets to pick one, and then you go to the next one and you get to pick, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to go ahead because most teams need to fill in their places. So Meadowview is going to be first, and they have, most teams are only going to be able to fill in 1 or 2 spots at most. So they need a starting pitcher, and our starting pitchers here are going to be Maddox, I forget what his name is, Clark, and Foster. So all 3 of these guys were cut. The best deal here is going to be Maddox. He'll be in his last year. They have a starting pitcher here, Jordan Santiago, so we really just need a placeholder. None of these guys are going to progress. We've already done player progression on these players, so they're not going to get any better. So Maddox is a, what's his name? His name is Zach. So Zach Maddox is a 1 skill player. He's in his final year. His contract is for $1. That's what makes him appealing. And he is in year 2 of his contract. So that finishes out Meadowview. Next up is Crestline. Crestline needs no players, so their roster is complete, so we skip them. And the next one is going to be Rockview. Rockview needs 2 players. So I just sort of indicate this player is done. Rockview needs a catcher and a first baseman, so we got a 2-skill catcher and a 3-skill first baseman. So opportunities here. This guy is even a rookie, so that's a good pickup for them. Maybe you consider him an undrafted rookie. So Omar Alcaraz. 2-skill, 4 age. He's on a 2-year contract, and he's in year 1. So he was a fresh player created, so he'll be in year 1 of his contract. They do have a catcher here, Maximino Laureano. So we'll see if Alvarez, it's going to be hard for him to get better, but it is possible for him to get a little better. And then we have Cornelio Granados. Granados is a 3-skill first baseman. He's young, and he'll cost $3, and he'll be in year 1 of his contract. So not a star player, but boy, a really good one. So Rockview is set. And then finally, Mariners Bay has no, they have nothing to fill in. So all of our players are set. Make sure we indicate these guys are off, and then we'll put our free agents away. So as the rules are currently standing, there are no injuries or anything that could be a part of things as we go along. That way you have to either fill in from your minor leagues and then draft, or, go back to the free agency and pull in a rookie, or you'll have to sign a free agent or something like that. We'll also be able to do trades at some point, which trades aren't in the game. Maybe when I can get some people doing some serious testing, we can figure out trades. All right. So this team is set, Crestline. You can see, what are we at? We're at 45 minutes. You've stuck with it this long. Thank you. This period is almost over. I'm walking you through everything, and, this should only take up to about 30 minutes to complete this part. It has whenever I've played in the past. So let's go through and we'll just do our skills. So we do four, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. So their skill is 23. Their age is 21 divided by 9. 2.3, also a very young team. Salary is only $18, and they have 2 stars. So Rockview, who won the championship, They had a 4-2 record. I don't know if it's going to go very well for them. They have a 1-star pitcher on top of that, so they're going to be struggling to score runs. So that's kind of how it goes. Your skill level is directly related to your ability to score runs. So it's might be a rough year for them. So 26 skill level for Meadowview. They have improved significantly. Divided by 9, 2.2. Very young team. They have one guy who might retire, but boy, they got a lot of 1s and 2s here. So just $19 for their salary, as they're rolling out a pretty young team, youngest in the league so far. And Mariners Bay looks set up to win the championship. They'll definitely be the favorites going in. So $31 will be their salary, which they're coming in with $30. They should be able to carry that with no problems. Also a very young team. 2.2 is their age. So $23 is their salary. So 2, 4, 6 stars. So they are sitting pretty at this point, as they have a $31 or 31 skill. Not $31. If I didn't do that with the others. Yeah. So 31 is their skill, and they're only paying $23 for it. And they have 6 stars. They have 4-star players. That's going to come in here with the star bonus. They also have a loaded minor league system. They have Clark Vaughn, who is a 4, kind of with no place to go. Did I change Clark Vaughn? I don't think I did. We'll have to just see what happens with him. Sorry. So Clark Vaughn, yeah, we haven't changed him over. We're going to keep him as a shortstop. He may progress to a place where we can just let Mason Freeman go, because we're going to have to pay him in year 2. If he goes up any, he's going to be up in that $8, $9, $10 range. And you could get a guy with a lot of skill and release him, and he would be a very desirable free agent for somebody. So, all things to think about in the next season. But right now, we're all set to go. So Mariners Bay with 31 skill, Crestline with 30. Both teams really young and paying not very much. Both teams with 6 stars. Rockview just 23 skill, and Meadowview with 26. So I would expect these two to be fighting it out, and these two to be fighting it out for bottom dwellers. Meadowview with a young team, they're not paying a lot, and they come in with a $30 loss from the previous season, so maybe they can make that up just because they have a low payroll. So that is that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments section. And again, that takes longer to talk through it and spell it out for you than it does to actually play for the most part. And so our teams are ready to go. The next phase is going to be into playing the regular season. So I'll show regular season 2, and we'll go through all the games, and we'll see how the regular season and the playoffs turn out. And all of our hard work here goes to the field. Now, if you haven't clicked on subscribe, just click subscribe. We're up to about 430 subscribers now. Big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. If you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. That's a super easy way to support what I'm doing here. You can also go to Clark Addison Gaming .com, and you can pick up a new season of something that is already being published. We got Precision Baseball, On-Base Baseball, The Game of Dice baseball is there. Play action football, up tempo basketball. Lots of different games to choose from. AIG basketball is a new basketball game as well. And feel free to go and check those out. We have lots of videos here on the YouTube channel. So go through all the different playlists. Some of them are playlists for the game, some are just for sports, and so you can see different things. So there's a playlist for what I'm working on, which is kind of games in progress or ideas that I have. There's an exciting new game called Between the Lines, which is based off of really sort of it's kind of a muddied, batted ball look at baseball, so not focusing on the outcomes and trying to hit outcomes, but focusing on player skill. And so the player skill leads you through the play more than their outcomes. It's obviously based on their outcomes, but we're not trying to just say, okay, roll a dice, here's an outcome. It's more like we're going to roll a dice, and then based on the player's statistics, he has a quality. So if you think about play games, how you kind of deal with qualities, they're still working on outcomes, but it's a lot closer to, you know, what I'm trying to do as well. So it's a little bit more quality driven, but it feels like an old school version. So not necessarily with the text-based qualities. You'll have a number, you'll have a value, but it represents a quality of pitcher, a quality of batter, and the batter's production as far as barrel percentage and hard hit percentage and their ISO and some different advanced stats like that are coming into play in their hitting rating. So you have players rated for power and hitting. You have them rated for their errors and range, because we have both error and range checks. And then there's a unique sort of fielding system based on this 1 to 20 grid that's overlaid on a baseball field, which gives a more kinetic effect. So you have a ground ball and it's hit to this zone. What happens when it's hit to this zone? If it's a hard grounder to an outfield zone, it goes through, that kind of stuff. So very kinetic, very sort of organic in the way that it goes. And hopefully you like it. You can check out, I've got lots of different videos so far showing the progression of the game, and the latest video in the for Between the Lines is the latest version that I have. So I've added ballparks and ballpark effects, and whenever there's a home run check, each individual ballpark has its own left field, center field, right field, which makes it easier or more difficult to hit a home run. Each ballpark has its own sort of atmospheric effects. So some ballparks, when the roof is open, there's a different, the ball reacts differently than when it's closed. At Wrigley Field, you have to roll beforehand. Is the wind blowing in or is it blowing out? And at Coors Field, you just sort of get, it's kind of like pulling the fences in. The fences are deep, but you pull them into a better place because of the atmosphere, and it's just easier to hit balls out there. But those fence adjustments, the targets, I guess, you have to get over those to get a home run. Those are created by the distance of the wall from home plate plus the height of the wall. So we call that the effective distance. And the effective distance is different because Fenway Park's left field is definitely not very far from home plate, but it's a 37-foot wall at the Green Monster. So the effective distance is different than the actual distance from home plate to the wall. So it's taken some cool things into account that I haven't seen outside of maybe Pursue the Pennant has that kind of stuff in it. Diamond Mind is what it's called, but maybe they have some similar types of adjustments in there, but it won't be exactly the same as even Diamond Mine. So it'll be a cool thing to check out when it's ready for beta. I'll let everybody know. I'm still just trying to think through. I want it to be like really well done and just kind of think through it. AIG baseball is It's in beta. You can go and download the beta. You can get the entire 1979 season. I haven't heard a lot about any feedback from that. So if you're out there playing the beta and you have some feedback to give on that game, please send it to me and let me know. Are there things that need to be changed? Is the game perfect as it is? Whatever it is. I like the game as it is and don't know if it needs quite anything more. But if you can think of something, then maybe it does need something more. All right. We're going to put this one to bed. So we finished the off season. Our teams are all ready for the new season, season 2. And we'll see how things go for season 2. Maybe I'll try to give this league a name. That way we can stop calling it season 2. We can call it, we'll call it the 2026 season or something. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section. You can email me at clarkaddisongaming@gmail.com as well. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.